Hi everyone, I'm Lucas.
And I'm Sophia. Welcome back to the American English Podcast. Today, we are tackling the invisible wall that every English learner eventually hits.
You know the feeling. You've studied the grammar, you've memorized the vocabulary, you've even watched the 100 videos on how to make the TH or the R sound. You know the rule intellectually, but the second you start talking to a native speaker, your tongue just refuses to cooperate.
It's frustrating, isn't it? It's like there's a disconnect between your brain and your mouth. You want to say world, but your tongue says word. You want to say think, but your tongue says sink.
Today, we are telling you the hard truth. Your brain isn't the problem. Your muscle memory is the problem.
In 2026, we have all the information in the world at our fingertips. But information is not the same as transformation. You can't think your way into a new accent. You have to train your way into it.
Your tongue has been training in your native language for 20, 30, or 40 years. It has an autopilot mode. Every time you speak English, your native language is fighting to take control of the wheel. It's overriding your new linguistic intentions.
Today, we're moving beyond intellectual study. We're treating speech as physical muscle rehabilitation. We're going to identify why your tongue is acting as a physical barrier to your progress, and, more importantly, how to break that barrier.
By the end of this episode, you won't just understand the mechanics of the tongue, you will have started the process of remapping your neuromuscular system for native level resonance. Sophia, let's talk about this autopilot. Why is it so strong?
Well, think about riding a bike. Once you learn how to do it, you don't have to think, okay, now move my left leg, now balance my weight to the right. Your body just does it. Speech is the most complex motor skill humans have. We move dozens of tiny muscles in milliseconds.
Right. Your tongue is an incredibly strong muscle. In your native language, it has developed grooves, neural pathways that are very deep and very fast. When you try to speak American English, you're trying to drive your car off the road and through the grass. It's bumpy, it's slow, and your tongue, your car, wants to get back on the paved road of your native language.
This is why you feel robotic. You are fighting a physical battle. When you focus too much on the rule, you create tension, and tension is the enemy of fluency.
Most learners think they need more practice, but if you practice with the wrong muscle memory, you're just making the wrong habits stronger. You aren't making progress, you're just digging a deeper hole.
We have to shift the frame. From this moment on, don't think of yourself as an English student. Think of yourself as an English athlete. You are in the gym. You are doing physical therapy for your mouth.
This is the missing link in fluency. We have to delete the old autopilot and install a new one. And that doesn't happen through reading, it happens through repetitive, high-intensity, mechanical isolation.
Let's get into the anatomy of tension. Lucas, where do you see students holding the most tension in their tongues?
It's almost always the back of the tongue. In many languages, like Russian, Arabic, or Vietnamese, the back of the tongue is very active and often held quite high or tight.
But in American English, the back of the tongue needs to be able to bunch up for the R or drop down for resonance. If the root of your tongue is tight, it creates a physical ceiling. The sound can't get out, it stays trapped in your throat. This is what we call muffled resonance.
Let's do a quick test. I want everyone to try to swallow. Now, notice that feeling in the very back of your throat. That tightness? Many learners keep 20% of that tightness all the time when they speak English.
That chronic tension leads to vocal fatigue. Have you ever felt like your throat hurts after talking in English for 10 minutes? That's not because English is hard. It's because you are fighting against your own established neural pathways.
You are essentially driving with the parking brake on. Your native language placement is pulling your tongue back to its old home while you're trying to push it forward into a new American position.
To fix this, we have to find the neutral position. In American English, the tongue likes to sit low and wide in the mouth, with the tip just barely touching the back of your bottom teeth.
Let's practice finding that. Open your mouth slightly. Let your tongue go completely limp. Imagine it's a wet piece of seaweed sitting on the floor of the ocean. No tension, no work. pause for 30 seconds of neutral tongue practice.
Feel that? That is where your American English journey starts, from zero tension. We can't build a new house on an old, shaky foundation. We have to clear the site first.
Now we move into proprioceptive recalibration. That's a big word that just means knowing where your body parts are in space.
Most people don't actually feel their tongue. It's just there. But to change your accent, you have to become hyper-aware of the tip, the blade, the sides, and the root of your tongue.
We use slow motion exaggeration to break the reflexes. Think about a martial artist. When they learn a new kick, they do it in slow motion for weeks. They need to feel every single millimeter of the movement.
Let's try this with the L to R transition. This is the boss fight for many learners.
We're going to say light and right, but we're going to do it so slowly that it takes 5 seconds per word.
Ready? L-I-T-E. Feel the tip of your tongue touch that bump behind your top teeth. Hold it there. Feel the pressure. Now release.
Now, R-I-G-H-T. Do not let the tip touch anything. Pull the sides of your tongue up against your top back molars. Feel the bunching in the back. Hold that tension. Now release.
Let's do that 10 times. Hosts lead 10 reps of ultra-slow L to R transitions, providing coaching. Feel the contact point. Sense the air moving around the sides.
We aren't learning sounds right now, we are building mechanical habits. You are literally growing new neural connections between your brain and those specific muscle fibers in your tongue.
This is why it feels exhausting. You are actually physically changing your brain. But this is the only way to ensure that when you're in a real conversation, your tongue doesn't default back to your native language.
All right, it's time to turn up the heat. We're moving into the over-articulation method.
We're going to stretch and strengthen the muscles you've been neglecting. We're going to do a sequence of rapid-fire phonetic shifts. We want to push your tongue to the point of mechanical failure.
Mechanical failure is a good thing. It means you've pushed your vocal range to your current limit. That's where the growth happens.
Drill 1, the TH2S snap. Think, sync. Think, sync. Think, sync. Repeat 20 times at 100 BPM.
Coaching. Make that TH exaggerated. Stick your tongue out. Think, sync. Don't be shy.
Drill 2, the R to W glide. Red, wed. Red, wed. Red, wed. Repeat 20 times.
Coaching. Feel the difference in the lips versus the tongue. For red, it's all tongue. For wed, it's all lips. Don't let them mix.
Drill 3, the triple cluster burn. Stronger, stronger, stronger. Repeat 15 times.
That strong cluster is a nightmare for muscle memory. STR, front to back. STR, onger.
Let's do it fast. Stronger, 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 stronger. Continue for 60 seconds.
Stopping. How does your tongue feel? If it feels like it just went for a run, you did it right. You are breaking the old autopilot by sheer force of repetition.
Now, we can't just do drills forever. We have to move into rhythm linking. This is where the tongue movements sync up with the music of American English.
Native speech isn't a series of isolated words. It's a continuous stream of sound. Your tongue needs to learn how to glide from one position to the next without stopping.
Let's take a common phrase. What are you doing? In textbook English, what are you doing? In American muscle memory, what are you doing?
Notice the D sound in what are. That's a flap T. Your tongue tip just flicks the roof of your mouth. It doesn't stop.
Let's practice the flick. Water, water, water. Repeat 20 times.
Now the whole phrase. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
This is how you maintain these patterns in high-stakes conversations. You don't focus on the letters, you focus on the rhythm. If the rhythm is right, the tongue will follow the path of least resistance, which is now the American path we've been building.
But you have to protect these gains. You need a 30-day maintenance plan. You can't just do this once. Muscle memory takes about 30 days of consistent daily input to become the default mode.
Spend 10 minutes every morning on these mechanical drills. Do them in the car. Do them while you're brushing your teeth. Make it a ritual.
My tongue is actually exhausted, Sophia. I think we really pushed the limits today.
That's the sign of a good workout, Lucas.
We want to hear from you. What is the one word that always makes your tongue trip? Is it rule roll? Is it statistics? Leave a comment below and let us know. We will pick the hardest words and do a special mechanical breakdown episode just for you.
If you're ready to take this to the next level, you have to watch our 20-minute high-intensity shadowing drill. It's the perfect companion to today's episode because it forces you to use these new tongue positions at full native speed.
And please, if this episode helped you understand why you've been stuck, hit that subscribe button. We are here every week to help you rebuild your English from the muscles up.
You have the power to change your voice. It's not a gift you're born with, it's a habit you build. Stay patient, stay consistent, and trust the process.
We believe in you. Keep training, keep moving that tongue, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Happy training.
Bye.